Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at another very interesting team. Today we're going to take a look at a team for the Open Great League. A Great League is going to be back, and there was a Pokemon that was super interesting to take a look at, which is a Bronzong. And the main reason for this is that this Pokemon got only recently buffed with a Weather Ball Water on this one. I think it was last season. And this season, the Mud Step nerf happened, which means that most of the answers to this Pokemon disappeared, which makes this Pokemon so much more interesting. And so, yeah, today we're going to take a look at a Weather Ball Water Bronzong in a team with a lot of Water type coverage, which is kind of hilarious. But this team just made sense. This team worked out quite well. I went only positive with this team. I think, yeah, like, I had only positive stats with the team today, which was kind of fun. And we have also Feraligatr in here, which I haven't used in quite a while, but Feraligatr is honestly a very solid Pokemon, especially in the meta that we have right now. We're going to be able to gain quite a lot of energy here, and look what is coming in. Altaria, which we would be able to hit an Ice Beam against, but the opponent stops out into their own WIGGLYTUFF, and of course, because we have still our own Zoomer on the back, I don't actually really need to swap out of here. I have still a very good answer to the Altaria, and at this point, this game is over, because, yeah, basically Feraligatr is just sweeping through the entire team. Ice Beam is going to be the perfect coverage here, taking down that Altaria, and we can move on to the next opponent. Bronzong is going to go up against a Quagsire, and it's actually not even the worst matchup, but our backline is actually even stronger against the opponent here, so I'm quite alright with doing it like this. But also, basically what I should have done here with this team, maybe, I should have maybe changed up a little bit, and I should have had a different Pokemon in the back, because I feel like Bronzong itself is actually amazing at then baiting out Pokemon like the, Azumarill, like the WIGGLYTUFF here. So I would have liked to have maybe some different Pokemon in the back that would have been weak to WIGGLYTUFF, because the amount of times I got WIGGLYTUFF out with a Feraligatr was kind of insane. And as you saw here as well, we didn't really need, it's still a good matchup for Feraligatr. We still gonna knock them out in 2 shots, which is kind of crazy. So I feel like I could have even made a bit of a better team. Don't get me wrong, Azumarill is fine. Azumarill Bronzong core is next to perfect. This is the main reason why I did this here. Azumarill is covering the weakness of dark type Pokemon that Bronzong really has. Like, that's the biggest weakness of the Bronzong. But one more thing is that I could use something like Quavel or the Poliwrath, especially with Poliwrath being buffed. Actually, Poliwrath is a very interesting Pokemon that I should take a look at for sure. Poliwrath basically got buffed with much of the season, but you're also going to have access to Icy Wind, as well as Dynamic Punch on this Pokemon, which makes it actually a very interesting Pokemon to take a look at. It's definitely something that's still on my list. But yeah, just generally speaking, it would have been maybe a cool Pokemon to have in the back, like something like a Poliwrath, something like a Quavel. Both of them are very good Pokemon nowadays in the season, because both of them got buffed. And it would have helped me out to have maybe even a little bit more of a sweeper, a little bit more of a potential option to just nuke the opponents away in the back there. But Azumarill is just a safe play. Bronzong is just a very safe Pokemon. And as you can see here as well, Quagsire is not the biggest issue for us. This is the thing here, like a Gastron would have been so much worse than a Quagsire is. Next up, well, let's take a look here at the next opponent. We will face off against the Swampert. Normal Swampert actually. And the swap onto the Fiera. I have access to Ice Beam, which is fantastic. Our lead is going to be alright against it, as well as they're going to be able to resist the flying type damage. But Fiera actually appeared to be a little bit more common nowadays, and I do think it makes a lot of sense against the current meta, as there's currently a little bit of a hole in the meta of not having that many ground types, and not really that much ground type damage. And so Fiora with Drill Run honestly is going to be something that, just is going to be a little bit better this season, just because you're going to have that coverage that other Pokemon just don't have. But here again, for example, against Swampert, we should be able to take a hit, but I'm going to use a shield here just in case it's going to be the Earthquake, it's going to be the Hydro Cannon, Hydro Cannon here against us. We're going to just go for the safe play, go for the Weather Ball Water, which is going to get them super low enough that we should be able to confuse them down here. But yeah, Bronzong, a Pokemon that got buffed quite a lot recently, and it's a very interesting Pokemon with a typing that we have here as well. I actually would have liked to go into the Azumarill here. This was a mistake. I thought I went to the Azumarill, but no, I didn't. And why this was such a mistake is because I would have liked to have another Pokemon in the back. I would have liked to have all 3 Pokemon still alive. Now I kind of rely on Azumarill a little bit too much. And the opponent has 2 moves stored here already, so we're just going to be forced to farm them down, hopefully still survive. But it depends on what they have in the back now, and if we're going to be able to win here or not. We're going to farm them down there. Still have another full HP Pokemon in the back, which is going to be Togekiss. And this is honestly not even impossible for us to win, which is interesting, because the Weather Ball Water is going to kind of chunk them away, and we have the Ice Beam stored. I expect them to swap out because they knew that I had the Ice Beam stored, and Ice Beam is coming through now, and this game looked lost, but we are actually going to be able to take down the Togekiss still and win this battle. Alright. Fantastic lead. Like, this is the thing as well. Bronzong has actually really good stats for the Go Battle League. And I do actually think that Poliwrath would be ideal for this team in the back. I kind of maybe want to try this team out again with Poliwrath in the deck because, honestly, I feel like it's such a fun Pokemon now. It should be such a good Pokemon. I think it's such an underrated Pokemon right now. But, yeah, as we're going to see here, we're going to have the Ferret against us, which is not the ideal matchup because they're running Trailblaze. Personally, if you want to run Ferret, I actually do enjoy... Okay, here I went for the player off again, but I didn't know that they would try to catch this one. Personally, I would actually recommend you to go for Brick Break Ferret in the current meta. I think Brick Break Ferret is better than Trailblaze, but both of them are going to be fine. Like, both of them are very strong, so don't get me wrong. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, as we will see here, we are going to be able to take this player from the opponent's Azumarill. That's not a bad matchup. Feraligatr, by the way, is a very strong Pokemon still. It's a Pokemon that you don't really see that often, but it is a Pokemon that is still very, very good in the current meta. It's just such a nice neutral Pokemon that gets to this like hard-hitting Hydro Cannon so fast. It's honestly fantastic. And here we're going to even be able to reach yet another charge move for ourselves. Hydro Cannon is coming through. It's going to force the shield from the opponent. One confusion is enough to knock out the opponent's Ferret. The charge moves are all going to be resisted on us as well. Swift is going to be resisted. The other move is resisted. Now it's just Florges. And the best thing is here as well, I still have the 1 HP Azumarill in the back, which means that even if they're going to debuff me here non-stop, I will be able to clear my debuff along the way. And this is so amazing. Here, Chilling Water is coming through. Attack is going to drop, but the Weather Bow is going to come in now as well against the opponent. This is going to be fine, and this is going to allow us to get the shield from them, and we can try to reach another Weather Ball in time. But yeah, we're going to shield this move up, and I could swap out here just immediately, and I would be kind of fine, but I can also just go for the charge move, because I'm currently not threatened. Like, I still have a shield left, it's still going to do a lot of damage, and the opponent is just going to go down now. Alright, next opponent. This is a bit of an issue for this team. If you have Poliwrath in the back, this would even be more of an issue. To be fair, Quaquaval can actually deal a little bit better with things. Quaquaval has access to Wing Attack now, which got buffed, which is going to be quite a bit stronger. And you have access to Hydro Cannon, which is a very nice coverage move. While the Poliwrath doesn't really have any coverage against Jellicent. And I guess that would be a bit of an issue for that. And that's where maybe Poliwrath would rather have a different lead. Steel type that would have access to some coverage against this Pokemon, against the Jellicent, because Jellicent is the most common Pokemon, or like the most used Pokemon currently as well. And so like I do feel like it would make a lot of sense here to have maybe then something different than Bronzong. Bronzong itself still has coverage though against the Jellicent, which is kind of cool, and with the option to bait with the Weather Ball, you actually have the chance as well to maybe outspeed the opponent. I always try to go for perfect fast move timing, but as you can see here, I'm going to use a shield again. It's going to be another Shadow Ball. I can go for the Weather Ball, and I do think I have a payback start afterwards, but hopefully they're going to shield this one up. They do not, and that's going to be so bad, as they're going to reveal that they have the Drapion in the back. This is not too bad for me yet, but it's also not that ideal. Drapion generally has only resisted charge move damage against Azumarill. The fast moves are chunking though, and if Crunch gets a debuff, things are going to look quite a bit worse as well. So let's see on how this is going to go here. They're going to be able to go for another Crunch. I might just be able to survive another hit, and as we will see, they're going to go for another move here. It is going to be the Crunch again. I survive with 1 HP. Azumarill is just the GOAT. Azumarill is the strongest Pokemon in the Go Battle League. Like, if you want to take a look at all seasons together, it is by far the best. And here we have now 2 Weather Balls stored on our Bronzong, which means 2 times the power against the opponent's Drapion. And now this is going to knock them out again. Bronzong is so spammy. It is so crazy strong right now. It's super underrated, absolutely super underrated. But we have a bit of an issue against the Gourgeist. Gourgeist is like one of the few Pokemon that are very much a core breaker of this team. We have here though the shield coming up with a Seed Bomb coming in from the opponent. We are going to be able to go for the Hydro Cannon against them as well. And it's going to force them to, yeah, go into their Azumarill, which is not really ideal for us. I do survive at least the moves here, which I feel like is maybe my best play. What I should do is try to keep some energy here, but I didn't really do that. I definitely do the wrong thing here, basically. What I mean with this is I should have just kept more energy and, yeah, just didn't really try to swap out into my Bronzong. Because if I swapped out into my Azumarill as well, I would have been able to farm up a ton of energy and go then for Ice Beam against this Pokemon. But now I'm actually in a bit of a difficult position, as I can go for the Weather Ball Water. This is gonna get them low, but it's not gonna knock them out. But we are so spammy with our Bronzong, so maybe they kinda underestimate it. So let's see here. Weather Ball Water is coming in. We're gonna get the shield. I can still go for another one. I can even go for a swap out here. This was not the ideal. I should have just went for the fast move then though. I don't know, but I gotta knock out the Gorgas, which is cool. I still have a Weather Ball Water stored. They go into their own Azumarill now. I should go into my own Azumarill as well. But okay, this is a mistake. Let's stop out into the Licky, which I guess my mistake doesn't get punished here directly. But I should have just swapped out directly into my Azumarill. I can go for some damage here. But it's going to be such a close battle. It's going to be such a long battle still because we have to somehow get rid of that Licky. They're of course going to go for the Shadow Ball spam, which is the strongest move that they have. But I'm not too sure on how that's going to work out here. Ice Beam is going to get the final shield for sure. There's no way that they're going to let the move go here. And let's see on how things gonna go. This is going to be quite a bit awkward. This is going to be the Shadow Ball coming in, and it's going to be another charge move coming through. It is very likely going to not knock us out yet, but it's going to do so much damage that we have to swap out here as well. The Azumarill comes in. Can we knock them out with the Weather Ball Water? I know already at this point it's not going to work. And sadly, we're going to lose this battle here, as we would have needed to kind of farm that down there anyway. Like this move, throwing the move there was actually not really the smartest idea either. But like good game to the opponent. Very close battle though. And we're going to get hard-walled in the next battle. Zweilous is like basically the worst possible Pokemon I could imagine to encounter in this scenario. So that is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? But yeah, we're going to be able to go ahead and yeah, just at least go for the Hydro Cannon here to try to bait them. The thing is, I'm just going to try to play them low to the point that I can go into my Azumarill afterwards. Is more my idea. They're very likely just going to knock me out here. And I'm alright with that. Like, I honestly don't really mind too much. But let's see. We're going to have here now the scenario that they have to go into my Azumarill. They are going to be able to swap out here very soon into... Okay, like this game is over. I'm just getting walled here, left, right, and center. To be fair, the core of Zweilous and Jellicent, I wanted to say is quite good, but it is quite an interesting core for the current meta, because what you can't deal with is any singular Wigglytuff, which is just apparently the most common Pokemon right now. Wigglytuff is literally everywhere, and you are getting core broken by this Pokemon immediately. But you have the Tentacruel in the back, which would be a good answer. We got completely destroyed there. There was absolutely zero way of us winning this battle. No mistake by me made there. I just got completely hardwalled. And that's fine though. Like, this is the thing as well. Understanding on why you lose the battle is super important in order to improve. This was a team loss. I couldn't do anything there, and that's fine. The same stuff happens to your opponents, by the way, as well. This is the thing as well that a lot of people have to understand. It goes both ways. It always goes both ways. It's not that just like, okay, you got unlucky, the opponent. Like, the opponent's getting unlucky as well a lot of times as well. You're going to have battles as well that you're going to win just by RPSing the opponent, basically having the perfect counters towards them. And I feel like it's just, you just kind of see it a little bit less than when you get hardwalled yourself, because of course more frustrating, but it happens the same way. Yeah, we are going to be able to finally have alignment, which is cool. But it doesn't mean that we're going to win this battle straight away. We have to deal with the Greninja. I just go for the Ice Beam. Greninja is absolutely frail. That's my favorite Pokemon, but it is absolutely frail. And so I do believe that I am going to be able to get them at least low with that, and I get them very low. As I go to the Togekiss, I can let the move go. Like, they have Psyshock very likely, and they go for Aura Sphere. That is a resistant hit. I have no idea where they did this, because yeah, now I'm going to have the Bronzong here. Yes, they're going to do some neutral damage here with Aura Sphere, which does some solid damage, but again, Bronzong can actually take two of them. Bronzong is quite bulky, and I think that Bronzong is super underrated in the current meta. I think it's a fantastic Pokemon to run, and you see it already as well throughout the battles here as well. This Pokemon is doing a great job. Like, it's honestly doing such a great job because you have that Weather Ball Water, which is so cheap, together with Confusion, which does a lot of damage already. Like, look at the damage that we did against the Togekiss. I can catch the move here again. Get wrecked. This thing is gonna go down here, and we win with all three of our Pokemon left. And we had a hard counter in the lead. Speaking of hard counter for this team, this is actually fine in the lead, but they swap out into the Sableye. And honestly, I think I was just distracted looking at something else because I was quite slow at swapping out here. And that can hurt us quite a bit. But also, I do know that I think that just to deal with my tiny one at home right now. So that was most likely why I got a little bit distracted there at this point, which is fine, because I don't play the spell perfectly either. Like, I know that later on I was quite slow at swapping again as well, which is alright here. Dazzling Beam on Sableye, by the way, is a very interesting play. Dazzling Beam on Sableye is something I wouldn't really recommend you directly. I think Power Gem is quite clearly the better move to have on it. In this case, it doesn't really matter. Like Power Gem and Dazzling Gleam do kind of similar things. They go for foul play. They actually still survive. I thought I would be able to snipe them there, but I can't, and that is a bit annoying. Like I thought I would be able to get to the water ball in time. This was my main idea behind it, so like that's a bit annoying there. Payback is coming through, which I think is going to be the better move to go for, but they're going to be able to knock me out with a payback as well, and that's going to be kind of it then. Here, the weather ball is coming through. They're going to knock me out now with payback, very likely. But I can go into my Feraligatr then and get a ton of energy, which can help against the Raikou. Right, that's at least my idea here. I'm going to go for the full farm down. I try to swap there for whatever reason. I'm going to get hit by the opponent now. It's going to be the payback, and Raikou comes in. And here, I just didn't have great fast move timing. This was not ideal. I do think I actually just wanted to go for one and then throw, and just didn't let me. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I would have lost anyway. So good game to the opponent. This is going to be the first video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.